Welcome to Joy of the Hang. I'm your host, Sharon Stevenson. Today we're taking a trip, one that begins in Baltimore's Little Italy and winds along the sun-drenched cliffs of the Amalfi Coast. I'm looking forward to this. Never been there. I'm glad I get to go today. My guests, Mary Ann and Mimmo Cricchio, are the mother-son team behind Mimmo Tours, a luxury travel experience that turns vacationing into something much deeper, an immersion in family, flavor, and friendship. For decades, Mary Ann shared the joy of Italian hospitality through her family's legendary restaurant, Mimmo. When loyal guests asked, "Can we go to Italy with you?" she said yes, and a new chapter was born. Today, alongside her son, Mimmo, she leads intimate tours through Italy's most beloved regions, creating memories that feel like home, even thousands of miles away. Together, they've turned a family legacy into a living, breathing celebration of connection. And today, we'll explore what it means to build a life around joy, generosity, and the art of making people happy. One meal and one hang at a time. Welcome, Mary Ann and Mimmo.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So great to see you both. And Mimmo has his lovely Italian lemon shirt on.
Lots of lemons, bright yellow lemons.
Bright yellow lemons, which are representative of Provence, mostly, right? Am I right? No?
I was
Amalfi?
hoping for the Amalfi Coast, but
Okay.
whatever you like, sure.
So
Go right
what's
ahead.
Provence is what, more lavender?
Yeah, Provence with lavender.
Would be
Yeah,
lavender.
Lavender.
I'm learning. That's French, not Italy. Where am I?
That's all right.
Yeah.
You've had quite a day.
That's
Don't worry.
I am drinking coffee.
That's because you were in.
I was in France for so long. I was in France for 10 weeks last year, but now I need to get my mind in Italy and lemons. I love that.
Of course.
Yeah, and you
we
look
are going to
beautiful as
take you to
always.
Italy
Yeah, I know.
soon. You're going to come with us.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I am so looking forward to it. All right, let's start in Baltimore, though. Before we get to Italy, you guys all started in Baltimore at a restaurant called Mimmo.
Yes.
So-
That's where it all started.
Where it all began. Tell
My
us
late
about
husband and I, Chef Mimmo Cricchio Sr., we opened the Mimmo restaurant in 1984. And then from the restaurant, as you said, our customers requested to go to the Amalfi Coast when we were there. And that's how the tours took off.
that. Okay, well, that's exciting. We had the restaurant business in common, and we were just talking before the show. You grew up in the restaurant
Oh,
business.
and what an education. An education that I'm very happy. I was telling you, I'm very happy
Yeah.
that my mom and late father saw fit to include me in. But really, a great environment. People are fascinating. I'm sure you can agree. And you learn a lot from them when you watch them eat.
Tell me what your favorite part about growing up in the restaurant and your least favorite.
Well, I think really, again, not to sound redundant, but I think the favorite part was just being able to work with family. You know, we were very tightly knit. We knew one another very intimately. And I just think it was a privilege to be included in the family business. So that was for me my favorite. I guess, anything these terms and least is just like when you had too much free time. You wanted to always be around people. You always wanted to be busy. Like if you get stuck on a lunch that's like it's like a middle of the week kind of day, then
Yeah.
you're trying to fill time. No, I mean that's really trying to find the least is being very nitpicky because it really was something that was enjoyable. It was a lot of work.
Mhm.
Certainly is a lot of work. It's not for everybody, but to have had the opportunity, I feel like I am a better man for having had the chance to be in the hospitality. Something I think everybody should do. I think as a society, we would be much more tolerable to one another if we all had time in the hospitality industry, but that's just a humble opinion.
True, right? So true. To learn to deal with the public it's a very positive attribute. So you were telling me though that your mom put you out in a tuxedo at,
Yeah, well,
5 years old.
But even before that, I had a onesie, and I'm sitting in this cocktail lounge. It's like your baptism party. You have no idea what happened, but you had a great time. No, I think probably one of my earliest recollections, excuse me, is just being involved at a very young age, but just knowing how to treat people as simple as taking them to a table, pulling out a chair for a lady and getting her napkin. That was probably like the first lesson, but you build on things, and it's just one thing kind of flows into another.
So
And,
Marianne, was his first meal meatballs? Or veal, you were telling me veal was
Veal.
what was his first meal?
No,
Solid
seriously,
food.
his first meal was his father, being a chef, didn't believe, and Italians, they don't believe in canned products with preservatives and chemicals. So really, his first meal was that his father pureed all of his vegetables, peas, carrots, sweet potatoes. And Mimo was our only child and our first child. And I'm not telling you that we were great at having a child, because at one point we called the pediatrician and we said, we have to bring him in. Our child is turning yellow. He has jaundice. We think he's sick. And the doctor was, bring him right in, bring him in. And we bring him in, and the doctor looks at the palms of his hands and his feet, and he goes, what are you feeding this child? Oh, and I said, oh, his father makes all of his food. And yes, but what? And I go, well, he just loves carrots. Just loves carrots. He's eating carrots all the time. And he said, yes, you're turning your child yellow. He said, can you give him something else?
It's so much beta carotene already.
Yes,
Oh my God.
So really, his first meal was all of his baby.
Yeah.
All of his baby food. And the day after the shower, when I got a gift of some the formula in a can, right? His father is over there opening the can and tasting the formula, and I go, no, don't drink that. That's not, no. I said, that's for the baby. And he goes, well, this stuff is horrible. My child will never, drink this. So, and his father was a very active father, came on every pediatrician visit. So he said to the doctor, doctor, he goes, how long till my baby, Sicilian, my baby can drink milk? And he said, not until he's a year old, 12 months. And so my husband turns to me and he said, 12 months, you'll breastfeed.
There you go. All right.
So there you go. Got there his first meal.
Yeah, right. I love that. So I shouldn't even ask this question.
No,
do you still love Italian food?
Always. I do. No, I do.
It's a silly question.
No, but it's important because, like, I think the thing is, if we go somewhere, like we're visiting people out of town, and they're like, oh, we have this great Italian restaurant we want to take you to. Party is like, yeah. But no, I mean, when you get to go to Italy and you get to have, just got back. I was telling you before, my girlfriend and I just spent the past 2 weeks on pilgrimage in Rome and the surrounding area. And this time around, she falls in love with carbonara. So now every chance she gets, she runs around, she eats carbonara. And, why not? I mean, it's a wonderful dish, and it gives you great memories of a tremendous place.
What region is carbonara popular?
Carbonara is Roman. That is Roman pasta. Now, this part's important, and I'm sure your listeners would admonish me if I didn't touch on this. You must. When you make carbonara, you have to have guanciale. Guanciale is the cheek of the pork. And if you go to places that use bacon, it's like seeing the people that make their limoncello with vodka. You just don't really acknowledge them. So rules are rules. It's like cappuccino after 11 a.m. is just not a thing unless you are sick or a tourist. It's just the way it is. But yes, absolutely. Carbonara, big Roman dish, and it's definitely one of my favorites. I'm sure you have plenty of good memories with it, but I won't speak for you.
So tell us more about this restaurant that you and your late husband, you started it, right? Or he started it?
No, we started it together.
Okay.
We purchased the one row home in Baltimore's Little Italy. Yeah. And then we had that into a restaurant. And then good fortune, I mean, we had the lines out the door. So we got the row home next door, and we turned that into a cocktail lounge. And so that people had, somewhere to wait. And then we were able to get the 2 row homes past that for our own home. So we were there, and we were able over the years to acquire parking lots, but it was really old school. Yeah. And I can say that, and I loved it, and I loved it at the time. And it was a different era, where people got dressed up and went out to dinner and went to the cocktail lounge first, had a drink, listened to some music, went to the dinner, came back. And then we had the limousine service that picked up folks at the hotel and took them back. So it was really, an entire evening experience, which again, here for 36 years, we were accustomed to keeping people happy and meeting their expectations, if not exceeding their expectations, for 2 to 3 hours. And so now with the tours, that's what we try to do. But we try to exceed their expectations for 10 days straight, or 24 hours a day, should they need us in the middle of the night, God forbid, they need a doctor, or even if they add Rome onto one of their destinations that we do, then we are totally responsible for them from the time their feet hit Italy until we take them back to the airport and they leave.
The restaurant business was great training ground
Yes.
for the tour business,
Yes.
right?
Sure.
And I know you also have a place in the Amalfi Coast, right?
Yes.
So one here in Sarasota,
Yes.
one there. And your passion for all things Italian came from where?
From really when I met my husband, when I met him, and then I went to college in Rome, and that's where I really got a chance to travel every weekend to a different part of Italy. And that's
Mhm.
how I discovered the Amalfi Coast, so that I knew when it was time for us to purchase a family home, I knew I wanted it to be on the Amalfi Coast.
I have never been. So tell me what's so special about the Amalfi Coast.
Very, very simple. Very simple.
No, I'm really curious. Like, why would our listeners want to, if they could go anywhere in the world, why should they book a tour with you guys and go see the Amalfi Coast?
Well, I would very humbly say they should come with us if they don't want to feel like they're on a tour. My mother would say a
Uh,
million times over that tour for us is a misnomer because
It's
we
a
are.
four-letter word.
It's a four-letter. It's a four-letter word, but it really
Okay.
it doesn't do it justice because we really are just two people, family, if you will, that are so passionate about Italy in general. But the Amalfi Coast holds a special place in our heart. Sicily holds a special place in our heart because my father was from Palermo. And when we go there, yes, we're taking a group with us, but the thing that is really special is that for a lot of people that travel with us, it's their first time, not just to Italy, it's their first time out of the United States. And, that's something to really keep in mind because then when we see them experience something or have an emotion, for us, it's very rewarding because we are seeing that through their eyes for the first time. And it gives us good memories. The day that we take the private yachts up and down the coast of Sicily, we stop in this beach town. It's called Mondello. Very beautiful town. But it's the beach that I ran on when I was a 5, 6-year-old kid when I first went to Sicily to meet my family. And so now you see these people who have worked a lifetime, have sacrificed, have saved up. This is their chance. And they've chosen you and your mom to do it. And that's a very, very that's just a very lovely opportunity to have.
And as Mimo said, some folks have never traveled. So just the other day, he was at a guest's house with his wife for 2 hours, helping them make their plane tickets. And we require to see their passports. We just can't take, because we have to make sure that the expiration date is acceptable, that they not only can leave the country, but they need to come back in.
Right.
So really we do everything for them. Italy is made up of 20 different regions. So really, you could have 20 different vacations or 20 different experiences. And that's what Mimo and I try to do with the Amalfi Coast, Sicily, Tuscany, Venice. And of course, we have the few-day Rome add-on in the beginning for folks that have never been to Italy and they want to come and they want to tour the Vatican and the Colosseum and the Forum. But what I particularly like about the Amalfi Coast is that it truly is frozen in time. It is the Italy of years gone by. I'm going to say if you go to the big cities, Rome, Florence, Venice, you will stumble upon a McDonald's or maybe a Starbucks. Every year when we get to the Amalfi Coast, we're like, oh, yes, yes. No, it is, the Amalfi Coast is truly Italian, truly Italian. And you have all of these wonderful little towns, Positano, Ravello, and we make sure that you visit all of them so that when you get back and people say, oh, you went to the Amalfi Coast? Did you go here? Yes, you did. Where some of the other tours that are our tours, where ours is an experience, the other tours, they just touch places, lightly. So they may stop at one of the towns or people get off the cruise ship and they're there to visit. So I think our experiences, our tours, are different in that you truly get to experience each one of the towns of that region.
So one of the things I found when we visited France, and we were fortunate to be able to travel all over that country too, it's very similar. There's all different regions, obviously, in France, right? One of the questions I have for you is we found there were a lot of English-speaking people in Paris, for example, but then there were other smaller regions
Right.
where they really didn't speak a lot of English. Is that true in Italy as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you really do
In the
need to
ma-
go
yeah,
with
in the
someone.
major cities, they will speak English. Then in the smaller towns, they not only will not speak English, they have their own particular dialect too. So even if you have had a few Italian courses, 101, and you're good in Italian, when you get to those smaller towns, it will be a completely like different language.
Okay. So you're there to translate and to help people figure it all out. Yeah.
Full service.
Full service. I love that. So you both are fluent in Italian.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Italian.
And some dialects.
Sicilian.
It's like a new.
Now for Tuscany, you don't order a Coca-Cola, you order a Coca-Cola.
The letter
Oh,
C.
so if I ordered a Coke, not that I would, but if you ordered a Coca-Cola, would they just look at you and be like,
No, they would understand. So obviously,
They-
you're not. They pick up very quickly. You're not from there,
Yeah.
but that includes Italians too. I mean, Italians who visit Florence. It's like, okay, you're just not from Florence. That's all. There's no.
Okay, all right, but they're pretty good with Americans.
I think I think that's a good point to touch on. I'm glad you brought that up. The Amalfi Coast in particular is a place that has tremendous reverence for the American population because of what the Americans did as part of the Allied forces that liberated Italy in World War II. Specifically, in our town in Maiori, there is a church, San Domenico. My name is Domenico. I'm very proud of that. San Domenico, that they have an exhibition of all of these pictures of the Allied forces and the Americans liberating the town and the surrounding area from Nazi occupation. So they don't forget that. They don't forget that. It's something that sticks with them. And, American, we could be from wherever. I think what they like to see is people that are coming to their town and they are enjoying what they have to offer. Really, it's very simple and it's really quite refreshing.
The hotel that the folks stay at in Maiori, right out front, is a monument to the soldiers, the American soldiers that came on land and liberated the Italians from the Germans. The church, Mimmo is right, San Domenico was used as an infirmary. And during the actual day of the liberation, the streets of our town are lined with American flags. And when the people are there, it just makes them feel so welcome and so warm. And it really is. There is a special that they hold Americans, in their hearts.
Well, I'm glad you shared that story. That was what we experienced in Normandy as well.
Sure.
Back to Normandy is their American flags all the way down. And how many years? 80 years ago now, right? That was the Normandy invasion. So yeah, the fact that they're still celebrating and remembering what our soldiers did then is so powerful. I would imagine Italy would be the same. So you grew up surrounded by the restaurant world and your mom's energy. Tell me,
I haven't noticed.
what made you decide to join her on this adventure with Mimmo Tours?
Yeah.
And why didn't you go into the restaurant business?
There's not enough money to go in restaurant business nowadays. That's the first question. And not only because I was on a call earlier this morning and the gentleman was like, so you ever think about doing a restaurant in Sarasota? I'm like, there's not enough money. There just isn't. And we could save that conversation and all the difficulties for another time. But why to go into the family business of taking people on vacation and more importantly to do it with your mom? It's something that I take very seriously. The expression I heard earlier today was likened to in Scotland, how you have like coat of arms and there's different tartans that are very proud. It's like an identity. It's really this conversation. And it's just that really sunk in with me because, it is our family name. It is my father's name that I share. I'm privileged to have. And it's just very important to me that we do a very good job for everyone that comes with us. I touched on earlier how people that come with us, usually it's their first time out of the country. And we just really want them to have a really good experience. And we want them to see and feel the energy that we have for Italy and, specifically the destinations that we offer.
So you were mentioning you do this, 4 times a year? Or how often do you do tours or experiences?
Well, we offer 4 destinations. We offer the Amalfi Coast, Sicily, Venice, and Tuscany, Florence, with the possibility to put Rome either in the beginning or at the end of the trip. But last year, we did 8 groups. That was a lot. This coming year, we have planned 6. There'll be 3 trips to the Amalfi Coast, 2 to Sicily, and 1 to Tuscany and the Florence.
And we planned them around a bucket list event that it would be difficult for someone to get tickets to.
Okay.
For example, we only go to Venice in February because that is when the Carnivale is taking place. And we have tickets to the Masquerade Ball. And we also, through our connections, we can get the authentic costumes, the Renaissance costumes from the Venice Opera House. So we go there 10 days. All of our tours have the same 10-day format in that they will have a vineyard day, and then they'll have a bucket list event day, and usually a yachting day. So we go in Venice, we go early to the opera house to choose our costumes because then they have to be tailored for us. And then Saturday, they're delivered to the hotel, and then we put them on and we go to the ball. And then you would be amazed when people put on those costumes, how they take on the persona of that person.
Yeah.
And we eat and drink and we dance and
That's
so
the one I want to go on.
but you
I
might
love
want to
it.
go on Tuscany, because Tuscany we only go in August, because August 16th is the Palio horse race of Siena. So if you have been on tours to Tuscany, they will probably have taken you to Siena, right? And they'll say, this is the piazza where it happens. And it turns into a race track one day. And then, the riders, the jockeys are in Renaissance costumes, bareback. And as they come around the San Martino curve, they fly off and hit the wall. And it's all very exciting.
Yeah.
And they explain it to you. But you will find it hard to find people who, when you say, well, have you been there during the race? Were you there at the race? So we not only take you to the race, but we do have the tickets on the San Martino curve, because that's where you want to be. It's like the 50-yard line of the Super Bowl. That's where all the action is taking place. That's we only do that in August.
Right.
And then the Amalfi Coast is only open in the summer.
Okay.
Some people will call us and say, I want to go to the Amalfi Coast in January, February, and it's closed. It's closed. It's just like a beach town. There's
Wow.
no beach facilities. The hotels are closed. Maybe one restaurant in a town, they take turns. It's closed. So, you have to know where to go. You have to be at the right place at the right time. Then you'll spend money and waste money.
Right.
That's what
And I think you
we're there.
mentioned to me too, you limit your group size to 20. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you keep them small and intimate.
Yes. Yes. And that's unusual too, for tours. Tours are usually one guide to 55, because a tour bus will hold 55, and that's what they want. We are two guides to 20. And then when we go to an accredited site like Pompeii, you'll have an Italian historian who will be your third guide. So then you have three guides, to 20. And also, we like to go to one hotel, unpack once, and then go out every day and then come back to the same hotel. We don't like the packing and the unpacking and the moving, and because again, that wastes time.
Yeah.
Your time. You're there.
That's why a lot of people like cruise ships, because
Yes.
their stuff is all in one place, but yet they're going
Yes.
from place
Right.
to place. So that's
Right.
that's a really positive thing, because you're
Yeah.
right. A lot of people don't like to move around so much.
We studied that. We studied what people like.
Yeah.
And that's what they like about the cruise ships. And they also like about cruise ships, which we take care of. You don't want to have to be worrying, where are you going to eat tonight?
Right.
What time are we going to eat? Do we need a reservation?
Yeah.
How are we going to get there? We have that all taken care of for you, right down to your meal.
Yeah.
Every night we have selected for you an appetizer, a pasta dish, an entree, and a dessert, and the red and white wines of that region. And the dishes are of that region too. Just like we said, the carbonara, is from Rome. Then when you're in Sicily, it's pasta alla norma. On the Amalfi Coast, tagliatelle al limone, all things lemon, there. And so each region has their own dishes, but, maybe the average person going wouldn't know exactly what, dish to order. So we have all of that done for you. You just have to show up.
I love that it takes the guesswork out of it, because when I travel, I'm the type of traveler that, yes, I want to see the highlights. Of course, I'd want to see the Colosseum. I've seen it, but obviously
Right.
that would have been on my bucket list if I hadn't. But I don't want to spend a lot of my time doing all of that. I want to be where the locals go. That's what I want to immerse myself into the culture of the region and be down the back alleyway in some unknown little restaurant hole in the wall. That's, with some mom and pop making pasta from scratch.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't want to be at the big.
And we've been doing this now for 15 years, right? And we have guests that have been back with us 10 and 11 times on tours. And because number one, they like the pace, they like just what you're talking about. We hit the highlight. You have to, if you're in Florence, go to see David at the Academy and go to the Uffizi. But that's a 2-hour limit for a person's, attention to that. And then we have together time, we have free time. Nothing starts at an unreasonable time of the morning. We always get up, we enjoy our breakfast, then we go out for the day. And people so they like the format, they like the pace, and they come back with us, time and time again. And people have come back to the Amalfi Coast experience, particularly more than once, because the Amalfi Coast is such a vacation destination that when they come back for the third and fourth time, I say, it's the same towns, it's the same restaurants, it's this, and they go like this. Yeah, I liked it. And then they start becoming friends with the locals too.
Yeah.
And then the locals know them. And I mean, it's great. It's great.
We talked about this a little bit the last time I met you, but I wanted to bring it up again. So one of the things I found fascinating traveling to France was I eat about the same. Well, no, I eat better food over there. We didn't gain any weight. We're over there for 10 weeks. I literally, I'm not lying, had probably a chocolate croissant every single day. I mean, I walked a lot, but I was like, I think I lost 2 pounds. But when I came back and I was like, why? The food is so different and so much better, isn't it?
Right.
Same in Italy.
It's also amazing what passes for food in this country because I mean there's just there's different law regulations and definitely Maori, definitely the Amalfi Coast, like my mom was touching on. It really is one of these last bastions, if you will, of good quality dining. I mean, and it doesn't have to be a Michelin star. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You touched on it very well. I liked your point about going into a hole in the wall. It's a family-owned business. They know what they do, and they do it well. Modestly speaking, they do it well. So all you have to do is simple. You don't have to get too crazy with it. I mean, the other thing too we can always touch on too is this community that is around a dinner table, right? Like you are sitting at a dinner table. You are, in the case of a family-owned business, you're in someone's home, and I think that's another point that my mom and I don't lose sight of is that you're in our house. Literally, one of the nights of the Amalfi Coast trip is we have a house party, and people come to the house, and we cook and we dance and we drink wine, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's organic. It's natural, and it's just it's a really great time.
But the beauty of these 20 people together around the table for 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes every night. We too, when at the welcome reception, they can be all strangers. They don't know one another. And some from Alaska, some from Colorado, many from Florida, Maryland, where we came from. But then as the 10 days go on, they become friends. And this friendship, just last night here in Sarasota, we had a reunion. The ladies, ladies of Damimo. And it was organized by one of the ladies.
I talked to one of the
ladies there last night, and we just had a wonderful time. But this friendship that has, built out of the tours. But you're absolutely right. I know we talked about this before, how Italians have to have a plate of pasta every day. So how could you eat a plate of pasta then? Because it all starts with the quality of the food. I mean, even at Damimo restaurant, we were very famous for our veal because we only served white milk-fed veal. So you have to start with the right ingredients. And in Italy, it's all fresh. There are no preservatives, no sulfites in the wine. And everything is pure and natural and doesn't stick with you.
And I was telling you, this is what I loved about France. There were fresh markets on every corner. I mean, it wasn't like, and people would go to the grocery store every day or the market, right? So but you would go to the grocery store there and you would not find half the stuff that you find on the shelves here. I mean, I go to the grocery store here and you have an entire aisle of cereal. And you go there and you might have 3 to choose from, right? I mean, it's just the way we eat and the way we shop and stock our shelves is so different.
Right.
That it was like, I loved being over there because the food you're eating is fresh. Because they just don't have all the crap.
When you're saying we understand Italian, right?
Yeah.
We're walking down through town and we have our, guests with us. And still, the Amalfi Coast, again, you go to the butcher for the meat, you go to the fish, purveyor for the fish, the vegetables. Right? So as we're walking down, I can hear one man say to another man, he says, "You have to go get the clams today. The clams are so fresh, they are talking to you." This is the expression. The clams are so fresh, they're talking to you, right? So I say to our guests, "Come on, let's go over to the pescaria, right? Because I want to show you clams that are talking." And they're like, what are you talking about? And it's a cultural experience because you go over there and here's the expression. The clams are so fresh that they're talking to you because they are so fresh and so alive that they're in the water and they're going like this and the water is spitting out at you. They're talking to you. Yeah. Buy me, take me home this morning to cook for today's 1:00 meal, right? Linguini con I vongole braci, con I po' di pomodorini with a little bit of tomato. It's delicious. Delicious. One of my favorite dishes on the Amalfi Coast. And then again, we have favorite dishes everywhere. Yeah.
It's incredible. I agree. I mean, I cannot wait to plan my trip. And the rest of you that are listening, you're going to need to plan it too by the time we're done. All right. I need to find out though, how this all started. So you guys, I know you owned your restaurant. At what point did you go to Mimmo and say, "I'm going to start this tour business"?
No.
Or did you say like, how did this all start?
Tell me how you actually refused it quite a few times.
This is when God knows that a door is going to shut, he opens a window for you. Because I have never had a job outside of a family business. Right? I went to college and I studied business administration with a concentration in international finance, and I did have a job with a company coming out. And I never went to that company because then my husband and I started to open the restaurant together.
Okay.
So now we're in this family business. And not only our family, the restaurant family. We were open 36 years and I had people that were with us for 30, 31, 32 years, the guys in the kitchen that my husband trained and everything. But then when my husband passed away, I wanted to purchase the place on the Amalfi Coast to keep taking Mimmo. I wanted Mimmo to keep going to Italy to keep up his Italian heritage, the language, because if you don't use it, you lose it. You really do. And I didn't want us to be here just in the United States. So I bought the house on the Amalfi Coast and we started to go there every summer. And that's when we still had the restaurant at that time. And our good clientele, 20 and 30 years at the restaurant, they said, "Well, we want to go to the Amalfi Coast." And I would make them a detailed itinerary, very detailed. And then they would come back and say, "Well, we loved it, but we missed half the things. We were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah. We didn't get to the restaurant before sunset. And then even though your paper said, and I said, "Oh yeah, well, maybe next time." And they're like, "Well, yeah, next time, but we want to go when you're there." And that's when I thought, but no, we have a 3-bedroom condo over there. You cannot go. And it was at the request of our, customers of the restaurant that said, no, you get the hotel, get everything, the transportation, everything. And you just let us know, and we'll write the check. That's all we want to do is write the check. So like Mimmo said, I put it off. I'm running a restaurant right now. And I really, do you want to take, 20 Americans to your oasis where you go and you be with Italian people but after the persistence, I've said, you know what, I'll do it once. And it was that one time that bit me because, like Mimmo said, if you've seen the island of Capri and the Blue Grotto 50 times, right? When I see it through your eyes, if I take you and you've never seen it, then I'm seeing it for the first time through your eyes again. And when you turn to me and say, "Oh, Marianne, this is the best vacation ever, and I couldn't have done this without you, and I'm so happy, and I'm going to have these memories for a lifetime." Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh!
just got chills.
I
when you
I
said that.
live. I
Yeah.
mean, I live to hear that, right? But then it was a real juggling act in that I was running the restaurant, but then trying to do the tours in Italy, but just the Amalfi Coast. But then after I did the Amalfi Coast for a few years, people started to request to go other places. Well, now we want to go to Tuscany. Well, now we want to, I said, but I don't have a home there. And they go, yeah, just get yourself a hotel room, build it all in. I mean, it was the people's idea, not really, not my idea.
Yeah.
And then I just would have never believed that Damimo restaurant would sell. I mean, I thought I was on the same plan as my husband, from the restaurant to the cemetery.
Restaurant to
Really.
grave. A lot of us are.
But when it came time for the restaurant to sell, I thought to myself, no, I'm sad because we don't have a family business anymore. But then I thought to myself, wait a minute, we do have a family business. So from Damimo Restaurants then became Mimmo Tours. And then we can still work as a family. We can still work together, and we can still provide, like the dining experience for 2 or 3 hours. We can still provide this experience, this Italian experience, for 10 days, 2 weeks for folks.
So it organically started. And at what point did you invite Mimmo to be part of the?
Well, when he graduated college, then he went to law school, and he was still working at the restaurant, right? And then
You're on such a roll. Keep going.
And and then
So what my mom was starting to say was finished school and I was working first in lobbying and then in the housing industry for a while until COVID happened. The company I was working with was cut in half, which freed me up to really do anything. And I decided to follow my mom down here, really because at the time there wasn't any family in the immediate Sarasota area. You had to cross over to Vero Beach, 3 hours away, and I couldn't stand for that. So I came down here, tried to do the housing industry again, but it just wasn't the same. The opportunity wasn't there. And I actually went to my mom. I remember going to my mom in the spring of 2021 and like, well, I don't think you're retiring. You're not slowing down. And I like this. This is fun, but we could really do something here. And I think we're in a place where people want to travel, they have time to travel, they're very appreciative. I must say that's one thing I've really enjoyed about coming to Florida, and in particular Sarasota. People are really appreciative of what you have to offer if you're willing to share it with them.
Yeah.
And so we started, and that first year together in 2021, we did 2 trips. I remember having to do mask requirements and getting COVID tests, and it was a challenge. No, it was a challenge, but then you did it, and then the next year it got easier, and the next year it got it grew. I was just amazed how people really take word of mouth seriously down here. We show up, my mom, to her credit, an amazing marketer, even better with numbers. And she's like, we're going to do advertising, and this is the advertising plan. And I'm like, uh-huh. And then, you start realizing that advertising only gets you so far down here. You need to really get to know the people that you're doing business with. And so that was perfect for us because we hide behind nothing. We are who we are. I feel like we're very genuine people. I feel like we're very energetic about what we do. And so Sarasota in general has been wonderful. We live in Lakewood Ranch, and just have loved our communities that we are in. And it's just been a real pleasure to be here.
I will say I am so proud of the fact that this community is one of the most philanthropic communities in the country.
Yes, very much so.
And also, it's been the same with me growing the podcast. It's been this amazing group of people that really want to help you connect with really powerful people, which is fantastic. There's not this sense of competitiveness so much. It's more cooperative.
Right.
And that's good, because I think that's what, if we talk about it on a larger scale, I think the world is missing that. I think the world is missing people that bring people up, and that's
Yeah.
that's something that could be looked at more
Right.
seriously.
And for the first time, when Mimmo said that now we are in a community where people have more time to travel, this past summer was the first time that we had two couples do 3 trips in a row with us. They were with us for a month. So they did the Amalfi Coast, then they did Tuscany, then they did a few days in Rome, and then they tied on the Amalfi Coast, to it. And again, like Mimmo said, that was all from word of mouth, because when we came, we took the choir from our church.
Yeah.
So there, the word of mouth got around the church of the tour. And then we took a number of people from our country club gym. And that's where the people were like, are you going to Italy? Are you going to, oh, you should go with Mimmo and Marianne. But really, I think that spoke volumes when the two couples signed up for an entire month with us.
Great.
And I just saw her last night too. They came to the reunion.
I
So
love it.
they were so happy. Anyway, we're
Oh,
talking about it.
I
Yeah.
love it. I think that's great. All right. I'm going to ask you first, Mimmo. Can you share a favorite story or moment that perfectly captures the hang, that feeling of belonging far from home?
That is a good question. I would love a moment to think about it.
Probably hard to pick just one.
It's hard. It's hard to pick one. It's just a general sentiment that's really something that I think I can say for my mom as well. We continue to marvel over how really there are 20, 22, however many people come. They really don't know one another. I mean, yes, okay, if you're a couple, you came with your friend, you came with your spouse, all right, great. But you're meeting a lot of people that you've never laid eyes on. It's our job, but it's also our tremendous enjoyment to watch these people over 10 days. And I mean, you get a whole spectrum. You get, folks from, the north, south, east, west, all walks of life, all different trades, and they are able to come together. They really are. And it's not like we are standing up and saying, you will get no, we're not the parents. This isn't the middle school
Yeah, but
the field
no
trip.
one's-
It's
no
not
one's gonna
that.
time
No one's gonna need time out. And that's the thing. Nobody, and thankfully that's a good thing too. Nobody puts you in a position to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because really, I mean, one day we're on the yacht going up and down the Amalfi Coast. The next day we're, having the cooking class. The next day we're in Capri. The next day we're at the vineyard. People are there to have a good time. I mean,
I was on a tour once it was in Italy, and there was a little too much grappa drank. I'm just saying.
but the point is, I feel like to not enjoy yourself with us, again, just an option. Like, you have to be a special kind of miserable, not enjoy I mean, you're
Well,
here,
yeah.
you're here in one of the most. This is actually this is a nice little anecdote. When my mom had this idea, she goes, well, how are we going to sell this? How are we going to do this? I'm like, Mom, it's the Amalfi Coast. The location has not done half, but more than half of the
That's
work
true.
for you.
Yeah.
All you have to do is not screw it up. And really, you did it. You
I
didn't,
try not to
you
screw it up.
didn't, you didn't
That
screw it
up.
up, but you didn't screw it up precisely from what she's been saying. You screw it up because there are transferable skills.
Yeah.
When you're in the restaurant, when you're on vacation, it's hospitality. You have to make sure that people are having a
Right.
nice time.
Yeah.
And as long as you do that,
Right. And because our restaurant was a fine dining, white tablecloth,
Yes.
waiters in tuxedos, we had to make a trip that our guests were accustomed to. So again, you put your feet in Italy, walk out of that baggage claim, Mimmo is there. We have private transportation. Just what he said, he glossed over that, but we go to the island of Capri on a private 80-foot yacht, just us on the yacht,
Yeah.
no one else, so we don't know public transportation, buses, vans, aliscafos, and private boats, private vans, everything. We have private terraces overlooking the event that is happening. You want to be in that place that night because the town below you is having a festival and they are going to shoot fireworks up to the terrace. When people see that, they go, I can never see fireworks again in my life after this. So, but again, we have to make the tour to what our guests are accustomed to.
So you are already used to providing an elevated experience. And so you've just carried that into your tour business and do these. I love that you kind of had this niche market too, where you've curated these really bespoke events where you have access to things that not everybody has access to,
Right.
which is really phenomenal. A lot of people look for those really special
I mean, because
occasions.
think about it. People can go on the internet nowadays and you could plan your own trip to get that ticket to that palio horse race on the
Right.
San Martino curve, to get that authentic costume, to go to the masquerade ball.
Yeah.
Right?
Just not available.
Those, yeah.
Unless you know someone.
You got to know someone who knows someone.
We might know someone. Marianne and Mimmo can get you there. If they can't, they'll probably figure out a way to. So
in Italy,
right? I know, in Italy.
Some people will come to us and they'll go like this: "You did such a great job on our trip, to the Amalfi Coast. We want to go to Spain next.
Yeah,
we want to go to Greece." And I go,
"No,
you need to find one of us in Greece, in Spain.
Yeah.
We know what we know, but all things Italian, right?
That could be the next thing. You never know." All right, Mimmo, what do you think your generation brings to the experience? How do you blend classic hospitality with a modern traveler's mindset?
Yeah. Well, I think again, it goes back to really making sure you have their trust. And that is something that, we're not foolish. We know that people have a tremendous selection when it comes to and when we have our opportunity, when we have our moment to deliver, I think it's a matter of blending the old and the new school. I think that some traditional values, they're timeless. They'll never go away. But then there's a better way of doing something that we can make the airline ticket process a little bit smoother. I'm more than happy to go over, provide direct service, but let's be honest, maybe somebody's not good with a computer or they're really bad with a smartphone. Okay. So you have to take time and make everything smoothly there. Other times, I think it's just as simple as recognizing that society is changing and more people, are coming in contact with, others as well. So being able to make that space that is welcoming, that is inviting, that is safe, it has to be something that anybody could feel. They should come with us. Yes, I'm sure people will say, "Oh, but you have a target market, you have a demographic." Yes, okay. But, we have families come on our trips. We have, 20, 30-year-olds that come as well. It's not like our environment is a prohibitive one. We are always happy to take anyone to Italy that wants to go. I mean, I think the only thing that we ever really ask for is just that they come with an open mind. They are ready to try something new. And again, just trust us.
Do you feel like
Trust us
you
with what
just
we
you
do.
just got back from Italy for 2 weeks? You were there, and I'm just curious. Do you think you and your girlfriend are looking for a different experience than, say, your mom and a friend would be looking for when you're traveling?
I'm going to give you the answer nobody likes. It depends. It depends because it depends on who you have in front of you. Again, that's our job. Our job is to read who we have in front of us. Do you like to eat meat? Do you like to eat fish? Do you like an active vacation? Do you like a relaxing one? Do you want to go north? Do you want to go south? There's so many things.
But even when they're
consider.
with us on the Amalfi Coast, do you like active? Do you want to get up and hike over that mountain? Tomorrow morning, Mimmo will be waiting for you, 7 a.m. in the lobby. He's going to take you on that hike if that's what you want to do. You don't want to do that? You want to go over on the beach and relax, and then do that. So it is truly customized. You are in a group of 20 as, individual also. That gaining their trust, we see that too in the first day or two. We do footwork before you even come there to find affordable souvenirs or typical things that you should take back. Right? In Sicily, the ceramics of Sicily are different than the ceramics of the Amalfi Coast. And you learn that and you see and you take it back. But we do that ahead of time. And then when you get there, like ladies with handbags, I'll say, okay, when we go to Amalfi, there's a great out of the way, out of the tourists. No one wants to spend money that they don't need to spend, right? And so then after a few days, they will be on the island of Capri and they will be looking at that handbag that might be $2,000, $3,000. But then someone will say, well, wait a minute, let's ask Mimmo or Mary Ann. Didn't they say they were going to take us somewhere in Amalfi for a handbag?
Yeah.
And then see you, we gain their trust. We
Right.
gain their trust. And that's what we're there for.
I hope we answer your question.
Well, I'm just really glad that you did, and
Okay,
I'm
good.
glad that you
All right.
expanded on that, because I happen to like a really active vacation.
Well, there you go.
I like that you're able to like modify things based on people's interests, right?
That's it.
Because I don't want to go and sit on a beach. I can do that anytime.
Right, exactly.
Anytime.
Well, you used a great description earlier about being a curated bespoke experience, and that's what's emerging now, right?
Yeah.
There's no cookie cutter traveler. There's no, I mean, yes, it exists, but people, I think that what leaves a tremendous impression on them is that, to your point, we did something that was very particular, and you need to be at the right place at the right time to know the right everything has to line up. That's what we do. That's our job.
And we always say at the welcome reception, Mimmo and I, we've planned this wonderful itinerary for you, but it's your vacation. This is your experience. Do you want to do this tomorrow? Please come with us. But if you don't want to do it, then that's fine too. Maybe you want to meet us later that evening for dinner, or you do. There was a gentleman who he came and he loved the beach on the Amalfi Coast every single day. But guess what he said? Take my wife. Take my wife. She loves shopping. Take her to see the churches. And I'll come for dinner. So even though it is a group tour, again, it's personalized. And some people look at the itinerary and say, but there's a lot of free time. We're like, you don't want that time free? What would you like to do? Go for a hike. Go for something else. We can do other things also. So it really is personalized, really custom made for you, even though you are in a group.
I love that. That's so important. I want to go to a cooking class. See, I want to maybe do a hike. I want to maybe bike around the town.
Check.
I want my cappuccino before 11.
There are rules. Please don't make me funny. There are rules to it.
And I think I have to have an Aperol spritz before dinner.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And then we're going to get you that limoncello after dinner.
She was briefed well.
See, I know. Last time I got it, she brought one with her, so I got to try an Aperol spritz. It was even better. So, and I have to have my Italian wine, of course. Gosh. All right. Travel can be transformational. What do you hope people carry home after a Mimmo tour beyond the souvenirs and snapshots? And I already know the beautiful reunion is one of those things. But what else? What memories do you hope to bring
memories
back?
And relationships and friendships that will last a lifetime.
I love that.
A lifetime.
Yeah.
If you would have seen the ladies last night, and then 2 weeks ago, it was the couples who had a dinner at another Italian restaurant. There's another group that they like their couples. They like to get together every month at a different Italian restaurant. And I mean,
okay, I need to put you on the spot now, because you're not in Baltimore anymore. You don't own your own restaurant. Is there a restaurant locally? I'm going to put you on the spot that you recommend.
We weren't paid.
In Sarasota.
Yes.
We have more than one restaurant. Sarasota is a very good eating town.
It's a sneaky good eating town.
Yeah. And I mean, in every nationality.
We're not
Italian.
Top 3 Italian, though.
Only Italian.
I just want to hear Italian, because you guys are the Italian experts. What are your top 3? If you're going to bring somebody to an Italian dinner locally, I know. And we're not getting paid for this.
Yes, no, not getting paid.
But we can each have different answers. We don't have to lie.
But again,
I have my own.
Again, I have my own criteria.
Yeah, so
owning an Italian restaurant that sat 110, right? You can cook everything prepared to order for that amount of people.
Yes, you can.
So I am not going to choose an Italian restaurant that seats many people. Okay. So first, I like a smaller Italian restaurant. I like, again, family owned, the people. And if one of them, I'm not saying the husband or the wife, the lady or the man, if one of them is in the kitchen cooking and the other one is out front, one's watching the back of the house and one's watching the front of the house,
you're in.
I'm in.
Okay.
So right now, for me, there is a little sleeper in town, again, that many people don't know about.
Maybe not for long.
The Reserve. I do like the Reserve. Okay. Yes, the chef there, he's from Rome. His family they have 2 restaurants right outside of Rome in Ostia. And
you know what? I've heard about the Reserve and I've not been there. So I'm going to have to check that out.
Very good.
I'm really glad you said
Very
that
good.
because
That's
I'm not.
one.
That's
One.
what's your
Well, wait.
So
what's it-
it's one. You get three.
No, go ahead. I want to hear what your
You don't want.
choice
You
is
don't want
next.
two more?
I want to hear what your next
we
one
wanna-
is.
No,
because
I
the one
have
that
three
you're
of
gonna
my
pick-
own. I have
You
three
do?
of my
Oh,
own. So for me, the first place we came, the first Thai place we came down in Sweden.
Okay.
And
So is that number one?
for me, I have tremendous respect for them. Alessandro and Paolo do a wonderful job. So for me, it's number one. I like that. Next, I really like closer to us in Waterside and Liquid Ranch, Storia 500. Right?
That would have been
That's a great second one. Pepe does a wonderful job there. But the third one, I'd really like to give a nice mention to a gentleman who has recently opened, and he actually came out of Osteria 500. Cesare as Trattoria Bella Napoli, also on Main Street. It's just a little bit further down from Mediterranean. It was actually next to the C'est La Vie, the French bakery. And, so the reason that we ended up there, like I said, we were coming back from this pilgrimage, and my girlfriend, Colby, is her name. Hi, Colby.
Shout out to Colby.
Absolutely. She's in the office somewhere. She's like, God, I just want home. So Colby, we come back, and Colby's, I told you she was really on this whole thing about carbonara. Well, she goes to Bella Napoli, she goes to Cesare, and, a couple of lunches in a row, she has the carbonara. She's like, Mimmo, it's good. It's just like we were just there, right? I said, all right, let's go to dinner. This was tremendous because this is a real family operation. You see Nonna is there, you see his wife with their baby, and the servers. Everybody is speaking Italian, which is a good sign, by the way. You talk about traveling. You want to go to places where, if it's Italy, you want to be hearing Italian in the restaurant, not a lot of English. But that's beside the point. Anyway, we go to Bella Napoli. We sit down. We have a wonderful meal, and I am just so very proud that Cesare has done this because he started with Osteria 500. He started making the pizzas there, which is just one facet of Osteria 500. But here he is. It's the American dream. He has his place. He has it in Sarasota. And I must say, he did a tremendous meal. So
it was a true testament,
Right.
because again, we had Mimmo restaurant, and we had boys from busboys in high school that ended up owning their own restaurants.
That's
and that was,
fantastic, yeah.
a true testament to,
Absolutely.
what they learned and everything at your restaurants.
Okay, so that's three. You have two more.
And,
you have
and
two more.
Cesare uses guanciale.
He does.
It's
The pizza is a Neapolitan style pizza, this personal thing, and it's really good. Now you need to do your last two restaurants.
Putting you on the
definitely Osteria 500, because then again, too, Pepe, who is so nice and knows that we are from the Amalfi Coast and we are accustomed to the lemon, he will even make us, the tagliatelle al limone, not even on the menu.
Okay.
That's another one, right? And then again, I found a tiny, tiny little restaurant called Vino Vino. And again, the chef said, I had just gotten back from Italy, and a friend of mine said, I got to take you to this Italian restaurant. And I said, really? I just got back from 5 months, in Italy. Yes. And the chef, he is going to make you anything you want. And I said, okay, I'm going to shoot. And I shot for a Sicilian dish, right?
Yeah.
That is pasta alla broccoli reminata, which is pasta, but it's a cream of broccoli sauce with pignoli nuts, raisins, and the secret to that one is a touch of anchovy, but a touch in that you don't know that anchovy is in there, but it's just brought up the flavor, right? Mm-hmm. And my friend is like, I'm here with him right now. Just tell him what you want. Tell him what you want. And I got on the phone and I said, can you make this? And he truly said, I'm from Naples. And he said, I know it's a Sicilian dish. He goes, but I can make it. It might not be exactly like your husband's.
Yeah.
My husband was Sicilian.
Yeah.
And he goes, but I'm going to make it. Come Friday night. And I went and I was so pleasantly surprised. And he tried it. And it's just a cute little place. And they have music and they sing and everything. So that was really a nice
The name of that one again was
Vino Vino.
Vino Vino. And where is Vino Vino?
Vino Vino. It's downtown right off of Tamiami across from the Sarasota Mall in that
Oh,
area.
okay. Yep. I know where you
Yeah.
are. Yep.
Yeah, just like in a little strip mall too. I mean, just, and we went and it was great. It was great.
Okay.
Very fun.
We haven't made you too hungry.
Can you hear my stomach growling?
That's actually my.
I think it's both of ours. They're both growling. Yes, I like La Violetta too. Have you been to La Violetta?
Also,
very
very
good.
nice.
Also,
I'm gonna
very
add that to our
also.
list.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
need to give us more options.
La Mucca Ballerina.
It's a good eating town. We
Actually,
need more time.
Yeah, we actually do have quite a Cafe Barbosa. Have you been there? That's really fun.
Very nice.
That's a fun one. So, there's some fun
you're
ones.
we digress.
Yeah, we digress, and we're all getting very hungry. So we're gonna move on.
But for Greek blue cuisine, right?
The question is, Italian.
But I mean, I just want to say that this is
Blue cuisine is great.
this is a great eating town.
wonderful.
It is a great cultural town
Yes.
with all of the theater and the ballet. And the
Only
opera.
because she went Greek, I would like to do one more, if you permit me.
Go
One more,
right
one
ahead,
and
sure.
only one. Only because I had the pleasure of growing up with them in Maryland. Brine
Oh,
seafood is
yep,
tremendous.
that's where you were last
That's
night,
where we were
right?
last night.
As
Yeah.
Marylanders, we can put
Yeah.
the stamp of approval on that crab cake. People in this town, they try, and it's a good
best.
try. That's a crab cake.
Okay, and Brine is located in Gulf Gate. For those of you who are local that are listening, and they have fantastic seafood.
Hi, Mike and Gary.
We're plugging some local restaurants.
Of course, Mike and Gary's grandfather was my husband's best friend and groomsman in my wedding.
Oh wow!
So you see how
Yeah.
we go back with these people 30 and
Restaurant
40
people.
years.
So we have in common that we both owned restaurants, and I first of all want to commend you for running one for 36 years. I mean, that is just that's unheard of. Like there are very few people that can sustain 36 years.
But I
in
want
the
to
restaurant
I want to
business.
say thank you, and I want to tell you the first 19 I had my husband there with me.
Yeah.
But then when he passed away, and I did it for 17 more with the great staff, the Damimo family, that he left me with. But I really would never have believed that I would have been
Well-
able to do it again 17 years without my husband.
And that's right. I mean, I think that's incredible. But I think what people often don't think of is those of us that are in the restaurant business, it's a labor of love because
Yes.
we're working long hours.
Huh.
We are serving the public during times when they're out having a good time, right?
Right.
Friday and Saturday night, we're always there. And so when we're there serving the public on nights when they're celebrating a special occasion, we've talked about this before. My favorite times in the restaurant were when somebody chose my restaurant to celebrate a birthday or an anniversary or whatever their special thing was, when they had hundreds of other restaurants to choose from, right? And you mentioned the same, like what an honor it was to serve. I know a lot of famous people that you served in your restaurant as well, but when somebody would come and have their special birthday celebration,
Right.
it made it all worthwhile, right? Yeah. I mean, I think but there are also, to your point, it's very difficult to run a restaurant. There are a lot of, I used to say, so many moving parts in a restaurant, and so many
That's a great
uncontrollables,
point.
right? And so many variances that are variables rather. Like, for example, I owned a Mexican restaurant. The price of avocado would change. The price of lettuce would change. The price of tequila would change. It was very difficult to control your costs when there was so much fluctuation. And then, of course, payroll would have to go up. It's just a very difficult business to manage. And your staff for me, it was very transient because we were giving a lot of young people their first jobs, right?
Mhm.
They never worked before. So in Maine, they weren't making it a career unless they were at the chef level, maybe a bartender. I had bartenders that were with me for several years, but most of the rest of the staff would turn over. They were young people. So you were lucky to have people
Yes.
that stayed with you for so
Yes.
long. Yeah.
Very.
You had a more mature staff in
Well,
a fine dining
I think
establishment.
if
Yeah.
I may, to really give a compliment to my mom. My mom knew how to treat everyone like family, and she is correct when she says that it didn't take one family to run Domino, it took three, and we had so many folks that contributed. We had a tremendous kitchen that totally were able to really what is it embody. I can't think of the word. Embody what my dad did after he passed on. We had our families that made up our front of the house, and that's the point. It took many people, but it took many people across a spectrum.
See, when you say that your employees were more transient, that again is a cultural difference. In the Americans look at a job in the restaurant industry as it's my summer job, or it's my job till I get a real job, or it's my,
Yes.
in Italy, in Europe, it's a profession. It is a career. It is your lifelong. So that's what I tried to cultivate also. When you looked at the person, they were either going to be with you as a career person, which many stayed with me, but then too many that left to open their own places, their own restaurants too.
Right.
But it's those that stayed for the career, and then we made them feel like family. I mean, you have to work with them.
Right.
If they have to leave between lunch and dinner to go pick their child up and take their child home to their wife because she doesn't drive.
Yeah, you figure it
You
out.
say, but you'll be back. Don't get, caught in traffic or anything. You'll be back. And they do it. So you figure it out and you work with them.
So after your husband passed, was there ever a time you had it for another 17 years? Was there ever a time when you said, I can't do this? Would you ever feel like I can't do this alone? I can't do this anymore? No.
No.
Wow.
No. I just had this in the expression in Italian is you just have to roll up your sleeves and do it. That's the expression in Italian. And I think the expression in English for me was, you just got to pull on your big girl pants now and do it. You know what I mean? I had to do it. And when I realized that he was dying and he was going to die, because I knew like the summer before he was very sick.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to do this, because there was never a thought, again, I was going to do it for my life, for the rest of my life. And then look what happened. I mean,
what a gift it turned out to be.
A gift that I sold that restaurant on January 10th, 2020, days before COVID, because I can't imagine doing dining during COVID.
Couldn't be done.
And then when we had the tour, the Amalfi Coast was a godsend too, because that was the first tour that could open up, because everything was outside. All of your restaurants were outside. Your museum, Pompeii, was outside. Everything was outside. So when he said we did 2 tours in 2021, we did, but they were the Amalfi Coast. It wasn't until 2022 that we started back up with Tuscany, where the museums, Uffizi, David, were enclosed.
Interesting.
Venice, the ball. You couldn't have a masquerade ball during COVID. No, it's just amazing when we sit and we look back on our lives, how it all just, it's a blessing. A blessing.
Yeah, for sure.
A blessing.
All right, we're going to end with a speed round.
Okay.
And then we're going to close it out. And we've done this before, but we're going to bring you in this time. Okay. To you, Mimmo, Amalfi or Tuscany? And same question. I know you're going to say Amalfi.
My heart is in Amalfi.
Nothing's wrong with Tuscany.
Okay. Now this question is a good one. Mimmo, pasta or pastry?
What time of day? No. No, I like sweet. I'll go with pastry.
Marianne?
I like sweet.
I'm going with pasta, because an Italian cannot go a day without pasta. It's just it.
Do you still eat pasta every day?
Every day.
Do you eat pasta every day, Mimmo?
You want to edit that answer? You didn't have a plate of pasta before you came here. I don't. I definitely. That's actually. I'll say for me. I'll say it's definitely a cultural thing. I definitely eat more pasta in Italy than I do here, but that's because I have a trainer.
Hey,
the pasta dish is going to sustain you no matter where you go. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would come in and we would be going to a wedding, an evening wedding. And my husband would be sitting there at the kitchen table eating a plate of pasta. And I would say, wait, you're going to the wedding with me, right? We're going to the wedding. We are going to the wedding. It's not on a Saturday night. We can go, which in the restaurant business, if
right,
there,
on Saturday
okay,
you can't go.
But we can go, right? We're going. It's a Sunday afternoon. We're going to this wedding. And he would say, yeah. I go, well, why are you eating a plate of pasta? And he goes, because I don't know what I'm going to find there. I have to have my plate of pasta. So if you have your plate of pasta, then you feel like you're good for the day.
I know this was a speed round, but favorite pastry?
Cornetto, so let's like a croissant, filled with Nutella.
Oh, okay. You like Nutella.
I
Right.
do.
I like
do.
almonds.
But
Almonds.
it's
But
just because.
But I'm going to say Mimo's tradition with our Napolitan driver, Drea, before they go to the airport to pick everyone up.
Oh, well, that's a particular thing.
I know it.
Naples has a very famous pastry, sfogliatella, and it looks like a seashell, but it's layered. For French, it would be like a millefeuille, and a really good one. It's called a coda, like a coda aragosta, and like a lobster tail because it looks like a tail of a lobster. But it has this cream. No, it's really good. It has this cream.
Right.
Oh,
and
trust
on
me,
top,
I'm like salivating
and on
here.
top, a very nice cherry. Sometimes it'll be a little bit sour, so I like the little bittersweet.
Oh.
But for our Sicilian family, we must go with the cannolo.
Okay.
And that's another cannolo. When we get everybody down to Sicily, we go, do not go in the pastry shop and say, I want cannoli, because then they're going to say to you, how many do you want? How many? Because cannoli is plural when you have to say cannolo, right? So, yeah. So Sicilians, cannolo.
I could eat plural right now. All right. Mimmo, favorite Italian saying?
Very good question. Pass. I want to hear hers first.
Okay. I know what mine is.
Go ahead.
And because Mimmo finishes it with his zip on it all the time. There's an Italian expression that says, chi va piano, va sano, e va lontano.
E non arriva mai.
Non arriva mai. So for the Italian, so you translate it.
Let's take it word by word. Chi va piano, slowly, sano, safely, va piano, va sano, va lontano. Will go long, like a long vision. Will go long, but the counter to that is, and you'll never get there. And non arriva mai. Okay, but I need to give you a saying. Non c'è due senza tre. There isn't two without three. So there will always be something coming, and you have to always be aware of what is coming. It's kind of like an element of karma. So like if you've been doing a couple bad things, some bad things will follow you. If you've been doing a couple good things, some good things will follow you.
Aww.
It's about what you put out.
That's beautiful. Say that one more time.
Non c'è due senza tre. There is not two without three.
So remember, when you come on two Mimmo Tours, you'll be on a third. Non c'è due senza tre.
I will come up with another one. I'll be like, actually use that one. But that's a good one.
That one. That's a good one. Okay, here's another one. Mimmo, song that instantly transports you to Italy.
Volare, oh, andare, oh, 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 oh. Only because the singer, his name is also my name, is Domenico Modugno. And made that song famous, late 50s, Volare. But no, it gets you in a good mood. You could be having the roughest day and you're just like, oh, okay, now I'm flying. Now I'm, singing. I'm just on my way.
Marianne?
Well, O Sole Mio.
Are you going to sing it for us too?
No, I can't. But at the Mimmo restaurant, we did have the pleasure of cooking 3 times for Pavarotti, Jose Carreras, and Placido Domingo. Last year in Tuscany, we went to see Bocelli in his hometown to an outside concert for his 30th anniversary in the rolling hills. So when you get a tenor and the young boys, Il Volo, when they sing O Sole Mio, for me, it's like the Italian national anthem. It's not, but it immediately transports me
you there.
to Italy.
I love it. What was Pavarotti's favorite dish? Did he have the same thing every time?
My husband invented a dish for him. The first time he came, my husband made veal for him. And then the second time, he called the house. I answered the phone, and it's Pavarotti. I'm like, Mimmo. That's Luciano Pavarotti. And his father gets on the phone. Maestro, what can I do? What can I do for you? And he says, I'm coming back, to do a concert again. 2 years had passed. And he said, but this time they tell me I have to be on a diet. And he goes, but I want to eat pasta. And again, with pasta, it's not the pasta, it's the sauce that goes on it. Yeah. So my husband made a roasted red bell pepper dill sauce, and he pureed it and he put it over the pasta. And Pavarotti, when he came out of the kitchen, went over there, he liked it so much that my husband asked him, can I put this dish on our menu and call it pasta alla Pavarotti? And he did. And then we were famous for years for that dish.
That's amazing.
So,
did you get a picture with him?
Yes. Many.
Many.
They are at my house. Those few are at my house here in Sarasota. But we had a cocktail lounge where the walls were lined with all of the famous people, who came there. And then it was so great because we got to know them, and we have artwork from Tony Bennett, and we did consulting work for Tom Selleck in Hawaii. The year 1989, he was in Baltimore for the entire summer making the movie Her Alibi. And in the middle of the summer, they opened a restaurant in Hawaii with his name. And he went and he came back and he goes, "Oh no, the food's not so good. Could you go out there and help them?" So we went to Hawaii for a while, did some consulting work for him. God. We went to London and did consulting work for Mohammed Al Fayed at Harrods. And to this day, was just there last year.
We're doing a great job for a speed.
Okay, that is at Harrods Food Court.
That is true though. I went with some friends. We were there, and so we go, and I'm like, "Do you mind if we go to Harrods for like 2 seconds? I just want to look at something." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, let's go to Harrods." But walk in the food halls, and first I'm getting worried because I can't find seafood. All right, so I go up to somebody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, right over there." And I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking. Really, very emotional. It's there. The crab cake is there. It may not be exactly what my dad did, but the crab cake is there. And that makes me tremendously happy. Even I remember ordering it from the lady and explaining to her, I said, "Listen, my dad made this." And she's like, "You kidding me?" I'm like, "No, my dad made this." And I told her a story. She's like, "This is awesome." I'm like, "You want me in the picture?" So I take the picture. So we take the picture, and
that's awesome.
It's awesome.
We didn't even get to talk about Jim Palmer and all the other great stuff. Him coming into your restaurant, right?
Awesome guy.
Okay.
Awesome guy.
Final question: Aperol spritz or limoncello?
Neither. Negroni's Bayato.
Okay.
Now, just let's clarify.
How's that different from a Negroni?
We're gonna take a minute.
Okay.
We're gonna take a minute. So as
here goes your speed round.
Here's your speed round, but it's important. You guys have to clarify.
It is. This is important.
So I'm sure typical Negroni has gin. It's not that's bad. It's good. It's just a personal preference. I don't care for it. So there's a modified version. It's called Sbagliato. Sbagliato means mistaken. And why is this mistaken? Because the bartender who was making a Negroni was in a pinch, needed to put something in place of the gin, didn't have gin, grabbed Prosecco, grabbed sparkling wine, put it in the Negroni, put it with the Campari, with the vermouth, and made a Sbagliato. Much more enjoyable, but again, bitter to open your appetite, to encourage you to.
I would like that
eat.
Actually. That sounds
It's
delicious.
quite good.
I don't like gin either, so I would probably like that very much.
But see, just like that little tidbit of information right there about the Negroni Sbagliato. This is what we try to do for our guests who come. Yes, there is the Aperol Spritz, and it's great, and everyone knows the Aperol Spritz. But there's also the Ugo Spritz and the Limoncello Spritz and the Negroni Sbagliato, and we try to introduce them to all of those.
The
drinks.
non-Italian answer, by the way, in case you're curious, was bourbon.
Oh, it's curious. So you like bourbon?
I love bourbon.
What's your go-to bourbon?
Well, I'm sure someone on your podcast will make fun of me if I say Blanton's, even though I love Blanton's. I think it's really nice. We got to visit Buffalo Trace, and that was really cool. I love Blanton's, but I actually really have started to enjoy Elijah Craig.
Okay,
they did a nice edition for the PGA Championship this past year in Quail Hollow. I snagged the bottle. It's the non-Italian answer, bourbon. So,
okay, we've got a bourbon drinker in the house.
But you have to remember, Mimmo grew up in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
So one day when a waiter didn't come in at age 15, I went like this: "You're no longer busboy. You're a waiter tonight." And he's like, "Oh, okay, I can do this," and he's over there. And at age 15, when the people are going, "So, what wine do you recommend with your veal chop?" And at age 15, he's going, "Well, I personally like," because they're not cultural.
Yeah.
Children, they do drink wine at home. They mix it with water. So I called him, come back in the bus room. 15. Don't actually say,
I
personally like, well, when I eat a veal chop, I drink. No. Let's just say, well, this goes well, or this goes well.
And I think I got away with a lot here. We'll give you one more saying. That was another part. You had a saying. There's a saying in Italian that translates to the suit makes you a monk. So I really love that one, because when you put on the suit, when you dress a certain way, you present yourself, you can do a good job throwing somebody off. You just have to carry yourself a certain way. So but again, that's another learning opportunity for a young person. It's a learning opportunity that when you take yourself seriously, you present yourself seriously, you will get treated seriously. So if you go to the table and you say, this is what I know, this is what I recommend, you can take it or you can't. Who are they to say, oh, well, he's 15. He clearly doesn't know. All right, try it.
And then it's true. He clearly knows about Italy.
Yeah.
He's been going to Italy every summer of his life, since he was a small child. He too went to college in Milan. He went to college in Rome. He worked at the Italian Parliament. He did an internship there. So, I mean, so I'm just saying, when you are older and it's your first time in Italy, you can really trust Mimmo in that he knows, he truly knows what he's talking about in the Italian realm of things.
All right. I feel like I should have paid. So my former mother-in-law, all she spoke was Italian when I was around her. And I feel like I was really slighted and should have paid more attention because all I remember was stai zitta.
Okay.
The only word I remember. And for those of you that don't know Italian, it just means shut up. So she must have been telling me to shut up a lot. She did say aspetta a lot. I remember aspetta, maiale, which is another.
And she's from
Naples.
Naples. I can tell that just the way you said aspetta instead of aspetta.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. Napoletan accent, right?
I did learn how to make her lasagna, though, which I have to say with the bechamel sauce, which was fantastic.
Right.
Best lasagna. Because we don't make it with bechamel sauce normally here.
No.
When we come to dinner.
Because of that, and Americans typically don't know that dish, when we have the house party at our house on the Amalfi Coast and you come up, what do we serve? Lasagna with bechamel. With the bechamel. And people are like, this is great. This is the lightest lasagna I've ever tasted.
High five! I got it!
There you go.
All right. I learned something from my lovely Italian. My kids called her Nonna.
Nonna. There you go.
Nonna.
Nonna.
Yeah.
Very good.
Nonna.
Very good.
Nonna.
It's awesome.
Nonna and Nonna.
Nonna.
Yeah. No, and Nonna.
Nonna.
We had them both.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were lovely. Lovely. They've since passed, unfortunately, but they were lovely. So, Marianne and Mimmo Cricchio remind us that joy is a family affair. Whether it's passed down through recipes, laughter, or the art of welcoming others, their story proves that connection is the most enduring inheritance of all. From Baltimore's Mimmo to the breathtaking coastlines of Italy, they've shown that when we travel together with heart and intention, every experience becomes a celebration of belonging. To learn more about Mimmo Tours or to join one of their beautifully curated adventures, check out the link in our show notes. Until next time.
Ciao for now.
Ciao.